Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Semi Soccer Experts Podcast, also known as the C.
C podcast.
All right, we're on episode. Adrian, go ahead and tell us.
We're on episode 35.
35. All right. Significant about 35 is that most players retire at the age of 35.
Yeah, that's pretty much the stigma that's given to all the players that end up, because they start playing from like they're 16ish and then just go all the way up there.
Yeah. By 16 years old, you're pretty much playing at a very. If you're not playing first team, you're playing the reserves or you're playing the U23s, but you're playing top tier football. So 16 to 35, that's a good 19 years of good football. Some players will push it to 36, 37.
Well, hey, Ronaldo's still playing at 35, so.
Ronaldo's one of the exceptions, 35. Zlatan is 37. I'm sure Messi will pass 35. The interesting thing about today's players is that more and more players are pushing that threshold of 35, especially the elite Europeans. Either they'll go to MLS or those who are South American and Europe will go back to their native country. I think Zé Roberto, he played till he was 43 as a defender. And, I think that is a result of modern medicine and a testament where we are with training and nutrition and education. It's the testament of how far football has come along.
Yeah, that's remarkable. To be playing in your 40s at high-level football, I don't think you can account for many athletes doing that. I know Ryan Giggs obviously played until he was 40, 41. And that's because homie basically just did yoga and he just took care of his body. And I think that's the key thing. And a lot of players, lasting past 35, they know how to take care of their bodies. They know when they can still go, and in contrast to know when they can't go anymore. So
Right.
I think that's obviously the main thing. And it's good to see, because granted, we're still in the Messi and Ronaldo era technically. We're passing its peak right now, unfortunately. The last 10 years, we were not fortunate, but just blessed with having those two players just go back and forth for each other this past decade. And there was no other player that obviously topped them for 1 year. Yeah, you can say Ribery, Lewandowski, Falcao, etc. But at the same time, these guys were just so damn consistent. And, what's another word I can say? Not just, we're spoiled. We were just spoiled by that. And I'm just glad that we were able to see Ronaldo and Messi. And still to this day, giving us everything that they can.
Right. It's just a tribute to modern medicine. But like I said, they're pushing the age limit to where they're going to retire in MLS. And I think that's a good segue to talk about our first topic.
MLS.
MLS, yes. We just finished the MLS is back tournament. And congratulations to the Portland Timbers, coached by former New York Cosmos.
Giovanni.
So, a big congratulations to Portland.
Well-deserved, too.
Well-deserved. A big congratulations to the Orlando coach, fellow Colombian. There was a big, interesting headline about, Portland was being coached by a Venezuelan and Orlando coached by Colombian. It's a great thing for the Latino community, Hispanic community. We're represented in the United States at the top tier level of football in the ultimate prize. So it was nice to see that in that aspect. But yeah, this happened yesterday. This game happened yesterday, Adrian. And believe it or not, we weren't watching it.
I watched it. I only caught most of the first and second half, only because I was in the middle of other things. But, from what I saw, it was pretty, challenging game between both teams. I didn't see Portland coming to win at the end. But, they were fortunate enough to get that last-minute goal and, just hold on. But another funny thing, I retweeted this. During the game, there was a strike from an Orlando player to a Portland Timbers player. He literally kicked it was like a kung fu fighting karate type of kick right into the face.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and surprisingly, it wasn't even a red card. So you're just like, wow. So this is just going on. Like you could tell the referee was having a horrible job during that game. But for what it was worth, it felt like a cup final. They were giving it everything they can, but Orlando unfortunately, just couldn't get through, and Portland was the better team. And I would definitely say they were the better team last night.
Right. No, well, I didn't watch the game, but I think we mentioned before that there's barely any advertising or any
Yeah.
kind of buzz or hoorah or noise made about this MLS Cup final, and I don't know if it's just like I haven't been paying attention, but
Me neither.
the MLS final, I don't think.
But it's so weird too because you have a final and it's on a Tuesday. Like I would have done it on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday-ish, end of week type of ordeal instead of like, hey, we're gonna have a big final, cup final that we've been doing all during COVID, but we're just gonna do it on a Tuesday just because. Who
Yeah,
knows?
uh, it's very weird because like if we talk about MLS wants to be the premier sport in the United States. MLS wants to be the premier soccer league in the world. That's what they work towards. That's not
Days to go.
no secret. Now, obviously, they're decades away from being either the premier sport in this country or the premier league in the world. So, why you have your most and I understand given the circumstances of COVID, of the world, of what's going on, but like you say, why have a cup final on a Tuesday?
It makes no sense.
The whole premise of this MLS back tournament is to have something in place because God forbid no one knew what was going to happen with COVID, and the way that people acting right now is that they're very relaxed. Thank God that it didn't get worse. It's kind of calmed down, at least in the Northeast. Obviously the West and the South are still having problems, but the idea with the MLS this back tournament is that there was not going to be more MLS after this tournament, to
Yeah.
my understanding.
And to be honest, in regards to this whole tournament, if you're not an MLS diehard fan or like a good, like, if you're into your soccer and know your shit, you're not going to know about this game. And I completely forgot. I knew the tournament final was one of these days. I just didn't know specifically. And there was no major promotion. Like, what the fuck was the marketing team doing for MLS? Like, hey, it's one of your biggest games. It's a cup final. Like, you guys go way more harder than this when you're doing your actual tournament. I mean, not your tournament, but the MLS final in general. And it was on ESPN. It was on ESPN Plus. It wasn't ESPN2. Major ESPN, like right there, prime time, like pretty much 8:30, 9 o'clock is when they showed off the game. And I'm pretty sure they promoted it within the ESPN circle, within their channels. But there was nothing on social media that was like, hey, this is the final going on. I don't know if it's the lack of like because they're the smaller market teams, talking about Orlando and Portland. I don't know, maybe that's what gives. But for me, I'm just like, I would have loved. I don't mind seeing a cup final, but give me a reason to see it.
Right. I mean, we don't know if there was promotion in Orlando or in Portland, but let's say that you're right that they did promote the game within the MLS channels. How many of us are actually sitting at the TV nowadays, like our generation at least, sitting watching cable? Like I don't have cable. I pay for my streaming services and I use social media, and yet and I follow a lot of soccer accounts on Twitter. I follow every MLS team on Instagram, and yet it seemed very quiet. Now I'm sure there was a post here or there, but it was quiet because, as the way Instagram works is you can pay to push your advertising.
Yeah.
You can pay for that service, but that clearly wasn't done. So I don't know what's going on, and the fact that they put it on a Tuesday, it's like, what are you guys doing?
And the funny thing is that I do know that some MLS teams, I don't know if it was all of them, but I know several of them on Twitter were posting, the final but it felt like they were reluctant on doing it because, hey, we're just posting this just because we were told to, no
Right,
real emphasis behind it.
right. And you know what? Another interesting thing about it, I saw more promotion for Austin, the new Austin team, than I did for the MLS Cup
Yo,
final.
seriously, I did. And to be honest, if it not from Grant Wall, I would have not even known about the final as well because he was tweeting about it. Other personalities as well, like other journalists and other people who do follow the sport religiously. So it's just weird. And yeah, I did see a lot of posts about Austin because they're trying to be up and running because even though it's like another team in Texas, they want to get eyeballs on it. And I feel like this was a missed opportunity for MLS because I know the ratings are gonna be in the shitter, to be honest. I could be wrong, but I think the ratings are gonna be in the shitter. Only just for the sheer fact lack of attention, lack of promotion, and especially in social media. Because like you said, Mario, like our generation, our demographic, 18 to 34, we don't really follow cable, all that, just for like shits and giggles. Like we usually we pretty much pay for our shit. So given that, social media is the way to go. And I feel like they could have done a better job on Twitter, could have done a better job on Insta, even Facebook, for God's sake, just post it on there. I guess I don't know if it was just a lack of like, hey, here's our final, we're just doing it, we're gonna promote night. And now they're starting to promote like the new tournament, that's gonna go on. So I know they're not tournament, I'm sorry, the season, because the season's approaching like in a week or so. I think this actually at the end of this week or something. So it's very odd, and I just felt like I think they were just done with this tournament. They're just like, hey, we're gonna move on with the season,
Yeah,
just give you guys all that.
they kind of just want to get this over with and move on. I see more advertising for promotion for the NBA. I've seen more for MLB. Another thing today was the Champions League, and not to go straight into Champions League right now, but I got an email from UEFA Champions League saying, "Hey Mario, we want you to watch the game." Like I got an email. I see the promotion for that game, and I watched part of that game, the PSG versus Atalanta, and there's no way that MLS doesn't have my email because I've been to Red Bulls, I bought merchandise, I worked for NYCFC but there's no way that MLS couldn't get my email and shoot me an email. It was like, hey, today is the MLS Cup final or the MLS.
Yeah. And you actually got me curious because I'm looking to see they even sent me an email because, granted, yeah, I work with the Red Bulls, but they have me on their marketing blast. Nothing from them, nothing from MLS, and I did buy a couple things from them as well, but nothing.
Right, and I think the only way UEFA got my emails because I signed up for I downloaded the app, and you made a profile and whatnot.
But you know what? Not just to throw all the blame and shade over to MLS, but ESPN I think should have done a better job as well. Given that they were hosting the tournament the whole time, and there was nothing really on their end that probably outside of ESPN FC and like probably like one of the ESPN channels, like they might have shown something, but I did not really see anything. And you know how Sports Center usually like on the bottom of the screen, they have like a little square thing that says, hey, we're showing this programming. Be sure to watch it, etc. Nothing.
I think you bring up an excellent point. ESPN not marketing this game at all is actually it hurts them. One, they're not going to get the viewership or the ratings that they should. Two, they're not going to grow their soccer fan base. Mm-hmm. And besides the things that we talked before, ESPN has not had the rights for the Champions League. And, so what I'm trying to say is, how can ESPN go to UEFA and say, hey, we want to buy the Champions League rights? So UEFA's going to be like, let's see your current soccer lineup. Okay, you have MLS. You don't draw anything. Why would we give you the rights for the most prestigious club tournament if you can't even get people to watch MLS? Mm-hmm. Now, if they did get it, if they got everybody to watch MLS, they could go to UEFA and make a case for, hey, everybody watches our channel, put the Champions League on here. So I think they did themselves a disservice not promoting MLS. ESPN grows MLS, they get more soccer viewership. They could go to UEFA, they could go to the World Cup, they could go to whatever competition say we want to buy those rights, we can have those rights.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does falter on them. And it is mind-boggling because, ESPN, quote unquote, loves soccer. It is one of the main things they love to show. But I feel like with this whole MLS is back tournament, it was a huge opportunity to attract, like I said, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but a huge opportunity to get eyeballs on the product. And like granted, the soccer was sloppy, but it was still quality games that was in there. And especially for the upsets, Orlando beating LAFC and, Portland going all the way. But at the same time, I feel like they dropped the ball with this big final. I felt like it could have made a bigger thing. They could have, highlighted it all on their social media accounts and also on their programming. And, ESPN's part of ABC. But easily shown on commercials on ABC as well, especially with this game going on. Nothing.
They could have showed it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, exactly. But, I feel like that's one thing that they falter on. But, it is what it is. The tournament is over. It'll be interesting, given if we're in a bubble again next year, if they do something similar to this, or like in the near future. I don't know, maybe I don't even want to see it as a preseason tournament, but it's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah, definitely 100%. But staying in MLS. Let's talk about the upcoming season. One of the big things that I find interesting, and this is beating a dead horse, NYCFC still does not have a stadium. They will be Red Bull Arena.
Red Bull Arena.
It will be Red Bulls, Toronto FC, and NYCFC will be playing at Red Bull Arena.
And the funny is next week, we're gonna get the derby, Red Bulls against NYCFC.
So I think an interesting thing that I saw is MLS. Some markets are going to allow their fans to go in. I'm pretty sure Red Bull Arena will not be allowing fans in because as far as I know, the state of New York is not letting any live audiences for concerts or sporting events. And I'm pretty sure that's going to go on for the state of New Jersey as well. Yeah. And since NYCFC is technically a registered company within New York because their headquarters is in Rockland County, I assume they would follow whatever mandate the state of New York does.
You talking about NYCFC or Red Bulls?
NYCFC is yeah.
Oh.
They work out of the state of New York, and I mean, if you think about the big picture, the MLS headquarters is in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a company registered in the state of New York. That's an interesting thing to find out. I'm going to find that out. Where the company's registered. But anyway, NYCFC doesn't have a stadium. We'll be playing at Red Bull Arena. The Yankees are not going to let them play at Yankee Stadium. That's interesting.
Get the fuck out. That's pretty much their message to NYCFC. This is a great opportunity to bring in Marco, our boy who works with the company. But, obviously he's busy doing other things. Hopefully we can bring him in and, have his view on it. But meanwhile, we'll give NYCFC their usual banter.
Banter?
Yeah.
Banter? I love banter. And I think it's interesting how the Yankees said, we're not going to give you the stadium. It must cost a lot then to transform that baseball diamond into a soccer field.
Oh, yeah.
And
I think it's just getting more personnel to do it on a daily basis because there's going to be more games going on back and forth. The Yankees are going back and forth because it's a shortened season, so I feel like there's going to be so much conflicts, and that's pretty much the reason why, they're like, hey, we need, the stadium for what it is. But there's actually there's a report, and I just read this right now, that not only NYCFC may be playing at Red Bull Arena, but Montreal Impact as well.
4 teams that are going to be playing at Red Bull Arena.
Yeah, Toronto FC is going to be calling. That's going to be – it sucks, though. Like, part of me is just like, hey, we can't see it at the arena, but it'll be so much awesome to go see, Toronto play at Red Bull Arena as their home field. Montreal, NYCFC, and Red Bull. I'm just saying, if I was working at the team, I would fucking take advantage of that and just go see it like right after work.
I'm interested as to why all four are going there. You know, I'd figure that Montreal might actually play at Foxborough with the Revolution play at. You know, just to stagger a little bit the stuff.
I
If
think I could be wrong, but does the Revolution play in the same stadium as the Patriots play? Or,
they
huh?
play, yeah, they play
Gillette
out.
Stadium, right?
Yeah, Gillette Stadium. Yeah,
That's why, because the NFL is going to start the season soon, so I don't think there'll be more conflicts. That's why.
I mean, I think MLS gets the shorter end of the stick, and you know, the NFL won't start until September.
Yeah, but still, like every Sunday, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna practice there or some other facility. So I'm pretty sure like the crafts are like screw y'all.
The Patriots don't practice at. I don't think the Patriots practice at Foxborough. They
I
should
don't
have.
think so either. But I'm just saying, just as a reason why, hey, we're using this arena. Screw you guys.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna be interesting to see the logistics of four teams playing at Red Bull Arena. Um, there's going to be weekday games for sure, unless they do double headers.
Yeah, because this is how the schedule is looking. To be frank, you're gonna have actually today, um, August 12th, you have Dallas FC Dallas against Nashville. This is the first game, and then the 16th, you have Dallas against Nashville again, and then following that, on the 20th, you got more games coming up. Like I said, the New York Red Bulls against NYCFC, the derby on a Thursday, and then you got games the 21st. I think they're just gonna try and like wiggle as many games as they can because like during the month of August, you got pretty much games going on almost every day, like throughout the rest of the month, and it's looking like that for the rest of September. You got games like a whole bunch of games on one day, and then like 3 days later, a whole bunch of games. So it's like all intertwined, and I feel like players are gonna get injured. It's a lot of games to be playing in a short span.
Players are going to be injured for sure. I think the most notable injury though was Chicharito for the Galaxy. He left
Yeah.
the bubble really early, right?
Yeah, he did.
He did leave the ball early. I can't. Where are you finding the schedule? Because I can't find the schedule.
MLS website. It's just highlighting all the dates on the web. You can, if you even want to see it, you can just look at the schedule. Go on MLS.com, schedule for the rest of the season. It's gonna show like on a horizontal way all the games that are being presented, the times, and where it's gonna be streamed at. A lot of the games are gonna be on ESPN Plus, Fox, etc. Pretty much where MLS has their TV deal with. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking at it for the rest of all. I'm not complaining. A lot of soccer is going to be playing, but at the same time, it's going to be a lot for the players to deal because these players need at least not a whole week to recover. But I feel like if they're going to play a game, don't let them do like another game like 3 days later and then another game 3 days later. That's going to cause fatigue. Like, do a game 3 days and then give them a rest for 5 days. I feel like that's more ideal.
100%. And I know the U.S. Open Cup is not going on right now, right? So
I don't think it's gonna. I think this was the supplement MLS's back tournament for the Open Cup. It sucks for all the other teams, but I think it's more of a logistical nightmare to get any other teams outside of MLS to play in the tournament because they got their own season going on. They're occupied, and I think they're probably gonna take a pause to next year.
Right. All right. Well, Adrian, I do want to talk about something in MLS that we didn't. I actually just saw it right now. It's been in the back of my mind, but one of those things that they haven't created a lot of noise. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's MLS specific.
Causing a lot of noise. No, I can't think of a thing.
The new expansion team, Charlotte FC.
Oh, Charlotte.
Charlotte. Right, there you go. Oh, Charlotte. Like, there's no noise about it, man.
But the weird thing about Charlotte was just like announced out of blue air and that's it.
Yeah. There was it was no noise. So yeah, Charlotte FC, brand new expansion club. They're going to be playing at they're going to be playing in 2022 is when they're supposed to be started. Um, Interesting thing about Charlotte. Charlotte's actually historically is a big soccer playing city. You have the Charlotte Battery. I think it's Charleston. I'm pretty sure it's the Charlotte Battery. I'm double checked. But even then, you have that whole triangle of the Carolinas, of West, North, and South Virginia. You know, that area of the country has always produced a lot of good soccer players. It's just a heavy area for soccer. North Carolina produces a lot of women's soccer players that end up playing for the women's national team. So it's a very big hotbed for soccer. And I'm just going to look at the
Come
map.
and think about it, I do recall some teams. I think I could be wrong, but there's an NWSL team based off North Carolina as well.
There's the NWSL team. You also have the former NASL team that now plays in the USL, North Carolina FC. They used to be the Railhawks. I don't remember that they played in NASL. They rebranded, and now they're in the USL.
Yeah, it does sound familiar. The Railhawks. 'Cause I feel like the Cosmos have played them before, like
Right.
when we were there.
No, they definitely did. So again, it's a really big hotbed, and again, we can talk about this all the time, but I think MLS again did a bad job about promoting this. And I do want to correct myself. I apologize. It is Charleston Battery, and they used to be it's Charleston Battery that I thought, not Charlotte. So I do apologize for that. But again, it's in the same North Carolina area. So it's South Carolina. My fault. It's in South Carolina. But again,
Yeah, and bringing it up to speed as well, because I'm looking it up too, because I'm trying to remember how the Railhawks were. Fun fact is that they actually made it far one year in the U.S. Open. They defeated the LA Galaxy and the formerly known Chivas USA to make it to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup back in 2014. So it was really interesting. And I do remember too, because like I said, I do remember physically them playing Cosmos. We were there for so many games, we don't even recall like all the games we were there. But I was like, I do remember banging my head a couple of times here and then.
I remember when they were the Railhawks.
Yeah.
I do remember that. That's North Carolina, and the North Carolina team plays out of Cary, North Carolina. All right, but again, it's an area full of soccer, an area that has a good playing base. Professional players come out of that area. So again, a city like Charlotte, there should be more noise. It's I think it should be a major market for soccer, for football. So we'll see what happens. To talk about something else, it's the crest. Have you seen the crest? What do you think about the crest?
For Charlotte FC, I've not seen it yet. Just give me 1 second.
I like it. I personally like it. There was a big talk on Twitter that it was very generic. It was.
Like it.
I like it. I think it looks nice.
All right, just to show the viewers, but this is how it looks like. So it looks like a crown. It looks like some shit you got at Burger King.
No, I think it looks nice. A lot of people were talking about as though it was very generic. It is. I'd say it is generic. I like the color scheme. I like the simplicity there. I'm trying to do something.
Well, I guess it'll be interesting when they put it on like the crest for a soccer jersey. It may look, very decent to say the least. But I get what everybody's saying. It does look generic. But hey, if you throw on a decent looking jersey, I'm pretty sure they're still with MLS, still with Adidas. So, Adidas usually puts on some good ass jerseys. You could probably make something out of that, to be honest. And you were right that North Carolina region, they do need a soccer team because one, they don't really have that much. They do have the Carolina Panthers, but also they don't have like that much major teams other than I don't recall they have a basketball team. They had
They have a basketball team. They have the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh shit! I forgot Charlotte Hornets came back. I got confused because of New Orleans and everything else.
I think what Charlotte doesn't have is a baseball team.
Yeah. I apologize for anybody that lives out there in North Carolina. I'm sorry. I don't really recall that many teams out there, to be frank.
Let me see. They do have. I'm pretty sure they have a hockey team. They have the football team, right? There it is. Let me
The
see.
Panthers, yeah. As I was saying.
Panthers sports. All right. Oh, they have a lot. Yeah. So they have they have a team in USL two.
Mhm.
A team. Oh, they do have Charlotte Independence. Is Charlotte Independence that was the Railhawks? Oh, no, they lost the Charlotte Batteries. All right. So Charlotte
Bring it all together.
Charlotte has a USL team, the Charlotte Independence, in the champion. They play in the USL Championship. They have another team called the Charlotte Eagles that play in USL two. They have a team
North
called
Carolina FC.
uh where North Carolina. No, they play in Cary, North Carolina.
Yeah. Still part of the USL, though.
Oh yeah. But okay, so they have a minor league hockey team. They have a minor league baseball team. They have a lacrosse team. They have the Hornets and the Panthers. So they do have a lot of sports.
Yeah.
Just in soccer, there are, in theory, 4 professional soccer teams.
That's crazy. And
One
in
playing
that state,
USL, USL 2, and one for the Women's League, the second division in the Women's League. All played. All right. Yeah, no, but again, like just making it full circle, there is a lot of soccer going on in North Carolina, in the Carolina regions. So again, for MLS not to make a lot of noise, it's kind of weird, in my opinion.
yeah, I think maybe people within the vicinity whoever live in North Carolina, obviously they're probably more aware about the whole team being set up. But I feel like they should obviously jump on promote the team. Like, hey, they're joining our organization. We're trying to expand, so we won North Carolina in a big soccer city. So obviously, I feel like it is something they should take advantage on. But MLS is really not bringing its A game in regards to all this. But hey, what can you do? It's still trying. I feel like there's the opportunities that they have to promote all these teams. It's not living up to its expectations, to say the least.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We are in the era of coronavirus,
Yeah.
and they're 2 years out that team, so maybe they don't want to push a whole bunch of information or rally the people up for them to wait 2 years before they actually play. So we'll see. We'll see how everything goes. It will be an interesting team to watch.
No.
All right, let's move away from MLS. I'm done talking about MLS. What do you want to talk about next?
Let's go to Europe, my friend. So before we jump into today's games or I can't even pronounce it right now. But let's talk about Europa League. So Europa League just happened two days ago, and our obviously our teams went through. Manchester United went through 1-0 against Copenhagen, which was a shitty performance from a United fan's point of view. But at the same time, we're in the semis, and we're going to face against Sevilla, who did beat the Wolverhamptons, and 1-0 as well. It was a good, pretty much that game was just tactically like, hey, we're going to try to attack you guys, and the Wolves were trying to do counterattack, failed them. Wolves actually had a penalty at first, but Raul Jimenez botched the penalty, and then pretty much almost the last minute, Sevilla took advantage, header, bang, 1-0. And then for you guys, you guys pretty much did what you did against Bayern Leverkusen.
Froze. You froze up for a bit.
I froze?
Yeah.
Can you see me? Oh, I guess we got some technical difficulties while Mario tries to find me.
All right, but I think you hear me now, right?
I hear you, brother.
All right. I didn't catch everything you just said, but I'm very excited. As an Inter Milan fan, We beat Bayern Leverkusen. I think that was one of the toughest opponents going into this, and now we're going to be playing Shakhtar. Shakhtar.
Shakhtar.
Um, so they are a dark horse in this tournament. They've always done well in this tournament. I think they've won it twice. If not,
I wouldn't even assume that.
I think they definitely won it once. I remember when they did win it. I remember they won it and they played Barcelona in one of the Super Cups, and Pep Guardiola was very impressed with one of their center backs. He said, "I want this guy," and I don't remember the guy's name, but they brought him over and he became a dud for Barcelona, and they just sent him back.
I want you, and then he tries them out and just like, oh shit, what the hell did I say in this guy?
Right. So I do remember this team being somewhat of a dark horse. I want to confirm how many times they won it. No, they won the UEFA Cup before it was rebranded the Europa League.
Yeah, they won in 2009.
2009, correct.
Yep.
To be honest, Inter Milan has the easier tie on paper.
Hell yeah, you guys still got the easier fucking tie.
I don't know how Shakhtar has been playing. I haven't been watching them. All I know is that Inter Milan is doing great. Lukaku is on fire. So I'm very happy about that. He's playing amazingly. And Inter Milan in general are playing great. A lot of our players who were injured, like Sensi, Alexis Sanchez, they're fit to go. Finally, Christian Eriksen is falling into place. He's getting his rhythm. Even Godin, who was not so well in the beginning, is starting to also catch up and understand Conte's tactics. So as an Inter Milan fan, I'm very excited. This is the best Inter Milan since the treble-winning season 10 years ago, man. 10 years. I've been waiting 10 years to see a good team. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing, because now since both our teams are in the semis, there's a potential we can meet each other in the finals. And what an episode that'll be.
Yes, sir.
Do you even know when the Europa League final is?
The Europa League final is scheduled for August 21st in Cologne, Germany.
August 21st. Why do I feel like that's on a weekday? Oh, it's on a Friday. I guess it's not too bad on a Friday.
Well, I'm taking off that Friday.
Yeah, same here if United go through. You're from here. But regardless, so that'll be interesting. And, if it does happen, like I don't want to jinx it or anything, but if it does happen, we'll probably do a special episode of that final. But
Yep.
but on that, since we're still in Europe, we're gonna go to the other league that just the other game that just happened today, the Champions League. So today we just recently had Atalanta against Paris Saint-Germain. And this game was, like I just talked about Wolves and Sevilla. PSG was just attacking. And then Atalanta was just counterattacking or just playing defensively, like Italian defending. And Atalanta actually scored early first. Neymar was actually, pretty much the MVP for PSG during the first half and like portions of the second half as well. He was tearing through the defense. There was one beautiful play. He nutmegged the player. It's like he almost did a FIFA goal. He nutmegged the player, cut to his right, did a beautiful shot, just went inches wide. And, because of that, I think that's what made him realize, like, oh, shit, like, this is not going to be my game. But he was still trying, trying to at least get a goal in. But it just wasn't his day. And then literally, like, at the 88th minute, 89th minute, they managed to get a goal. Marquinhos scored a goal to tie it up. And then 2 minutes later, Mbappe on a beautiful pass took it straight down to Choupo-Moting, 2-1. That's all she wrote for PSG.
Yeah, no, it's very heartbreaking. Obviously, I'm an Inter Milan fan. I'm only going to favor Inter Milan, but Atalanta had a great Cinderella story going into this.
Definitely.
The fact that they were winning up until the 89th minute, it seems like a robbery. It seems like,
you know what it makes me think of? Like Ajax of last year when they were going against Tottenham. They were so close to go to the finals, and then that last minute.
Absolutely, But even Ajax, they've won the Champions League before. This is Atalanta's first ever Champions League appearance, and and they were about to get to the semifinals. They were just a couple minutes away from the semifinals, and unfortunately, The stars had something else written, and to me, it's heartbreaking. The good news is, though, for Atalanta is they already qualified via the Italian League for next year's Champions League. This team, with this coach, is going to transform. You know, they're going to be now the new, what was AS Roma for the last decade. You know, Roma was always challenging for the fourth spot in Italy. Now it's going to be Atalanta. All that Champions League money, they're going to get. You know, definitely a lot of people are interested in buying their jerseys. People are interested in the team in general. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money that's going to be able to fix their staff, their players. You know, it's just that's a team that's going to challenge now for the fourth spot, and eventually I think has the potential of challenging for the Scudetto. So
My thing is, you don't think they're gonna try and buy in their players? No other teams are gonna try
what?
like I would assume like a big like a Premier League team or even La Liga or even Juve might want to buy one of the.
You know, they're definitely. I think teams are going to definitely try to poach their players. But you look at the front three; they're all either Zapata's 28 and the other two are in their 30s. Papo Gomez is 32. You know, if they want to cash out, great. But for a Premier League team to take a risk on a 32-year-old player who's just starting to make strides, I find it rare. I find it hard to believe. You know, I think we're coming into an age now that the average player gets paid so much that they are now playing for the shirt on their back instead of for a paycheck. I think the majority of players now are playing for team glory, for an opportunity to make their name, because the average player in Serie A makes good money. Enough money that they can retire or they can find a decent job where they don't have to work hard for the rest of their lives. The majority, I'd say. Especially a team that just made Champions League, they're getting bonuses. You know, they didn't win it, but remember, the farther you get in the Champions League, the bigger that bonus pot is you're going to get when you get out. So I don't know how much it is for exiting at the quarter stage final, but they're going to get a good chunk of money. And I think the Cinderella story of Atalanta is going to, you know, bring that team together.
You think they're gonna be as consistent this next year as this year?
I think so. If they keep the same core, yeah. And now, if we look at the tactic side of it, you know, obviously you do what you have with the personnel, but it's so Atalanta does a man marking system. You can tell anyone to go follow your man. You know, obviously it's a lot more complex and more detailed than that. Yeah. But you know, it's a system that can be taught. And even if one or two key pieces come back, obviously it's hard to replace, but it's not impossible. You know, that's my thing. I think this team is going to be here next year, and I would love to see him again make a deep run into the Champions League.
Yeah, I respect that. And honestly, I was about to call it. I really thought they were going to make the semis. Like they were so close. And when I just saw PSG come back, I was like, shit, they actually did it, because you know the year before Manchester United beat PSG in the round of 16, and we got through. We held them down, and that was it. But you know this year, you know they were coming for blood, especially when they had Mbappe. And I think that's what really helped out PSG this year too, because they were able to. Now you could do 5 substitutions, and with that, they were able to bring in Mbappe, who was he looked like he was still injured. Draxler and Choupo-Moting, who pretty much scored the game-winning goal for them. And with that, I think it really changed the game for them, and also forced Atalanta to play like traditional Italian, like just stay behind the ball, you know, play as a wall, etc. But how many times can that, you know, help you out when you're playing against a team with that many caliber of players? And I think that was their downfall.
Right. You know, just we got to give credit where credit is due. You know, PSG, the game is you got to have the most goals within the allotted time, and PSG scored 2 goals in the last minute. You got to respect
And
that.
that's a crazy thing, because remember we were talking about this in previous episodes that I didn't even think PSG was gonna make it that far, or like make it through. I was like, hey, they really haven't played any competitive games. Like, yeah, granted they played like a cup. I don't know if it was a final or like some tournament they were playing against some other team in the French league.
Um, you know, I guess at the end of the day, we could say that the larger break is more beneficial in this situation.
Yeah,
You know,
it almost fucked them over, but they were still able to get through it.
but
So,
big shout out to Thiago Silva, who is actually out of contract for PSG and is 35 years old. So, as he played for AC Milan. I don't like anyone who played for AC Milan, but I do respect the fact that he's at the end of his career, but he's still captaining PSG and he's trying to leave on a high note. So to be honest, I would like to see PSG win just for Thiago Silva.
mm-hmm. Well, if anything, if PSG do win the tournament, it will be one for the Bucks, because the comeback. I feel like a lot of people were like, "Oh, this will be like Manchester United of '99. We were down 1 goal, but we scored 2 goals at the end." Blah blah blah. Like, nah. But regardless, I will. If they do win it, congrats to them. It'd be great for Mbappe. Kid would pretty much have a World Cup and a Champions League, and he's barely even 20.
Right.
Like, it's insane.
All
Neymar
right.
would just be like another trophy for him to show off.
Right. All right, Adrian. Anything else? Where are
So,
we moving?
so yeah, we're still on Champions League. One other thing I did want to talk about, because we still have like 3 more games going on. Tomorrow we do have Atletico Madrid against Red Bull Leipzig, and then on Friday we got a heavyweight battle between Barcelona against Bayern Munich. And a fun fact about this game, I told you just before we went live. Univision, I'm pretty sure they're pretty much showing the rights, but they're not airing it on the main channel. They're giving it on like Unimas or Galavision, whatever subsidiary channels they have. And for this game though, they're like, it's 3:00 on a Friday. You know what? We're gonna play it on our main channel. They're actually starting to advertise it too. I've seen it online that they're gonna play Bayern Munich and Barcelona, and I guarantee you the ratings are gonna pick off. Like, they're gonna be like they even said this past week when Barca played against Napoli, it was the highest rated game of that weekend. Not surprised, and it was on Univision.
Right.
So actually, I think it was actually Unimas, but regardless, since now it's going to be on Univision, that's attracted to more people. Well, people who have cable can watch this game. You're going to attract a lot more eyeballs. A lot of Latinos are going to watch this, obviously, because Barcelona. And not only just that, but I feel like it's going to set records. And you know what CBS is going to do at that same time?
Tell us.
They're at 3 p.m. This, mind you, this is 3 p.m. on Eastern time, 12 p.m. in the Pacific. So they're showing Judge Judy at 3 p.m. followed by Dr. Phil. Actually, the other way around. Dr. Phil followed by Judge Judy during the whole time slot that you will have Barcelona against Bayern Munich. And these are reruns. So these aren't even live shows that everybody will be watching in a doctor's office or whoever gives a shit about. And you have one of the biggest games in the fucking world, and you're gonna have it in your streaming site instead of like, hey, or instead like capitalizing on this, like, hey, we're gonna have this on CBS, watch it, and then promote our streaming service so you can see more games like this. But no, they don't want to do that. It's mind-boggling to me, because I don't get what the hell CBS is trying to do. Like, even the president said, hey, we're invested in our streaming site. We have a lot of high quality in this. But, like, motherfucker, no one wants to pay that much money if they could just watch on Univision. Like, what point are they trying to make? I feel like a lot of people are gonna criticize them for this, and this is just like the start for them. It's just started bad. Like, it's no way to start a new streaming site, not streaming site, but a new network that's gonna show the biggest games in the world and you're just gonna have it streamed and have anticipate people buying, barring if they do the free trial and all that bullshit.
Right. I think we also got to look at the other end of the problem is also the Champions League. You know, even though CBS is paying X amount of money, the Champions League still wants to expose. UEFA still wants to expose their product. So, if I were UEFA, I'd be like, CBS, well, why aren't you promoting it or why aren't you showing it? If you're just showing reruns, it can't hurt to broadcast broadcast it, you know? So that's the other issue. I think there's people, you know, I feel like CBS just has a lot of money and they say, hey, I want to buy the new shiny toy, but now doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, they don't know. I feel like they're so invested into their anticipation of people buying their streaming site, even though it hasn't even been promoted as much as you know what ESPN Plus would do or NBC Gold would do when they took over pretty much the EPL coverage. But there's not much wave coming on with that, and they just really anticipate people are going to sign up to this because hey, it's a newer generation who watches soccer, etc., etc. We're just going to cash in on that. But in contrast, I feel like their viewership is going to tank, and I feel like there's going to be a failure. It's a failure bound to happen.
I think once UEFA sees that they're not getting the eyeballs they want, they're definitely going to move platforms again.
I think they don't care because they're getting money off of this. And to be honest, I think they're going to be satisfied with Univision because they stuck with them. And Univision, I feel like, is where they get the real ratings from. And that's the sad part of it because, you know, obviously, you know, here in the U.S., majority of us speak English. But at the same time, not everyone is really a soccer fan. A lot of people who do watch soccer, who don't mind watching, are casuals. And not these casuals aren't going to pay a damn subscription fee to watch fucking soccer when they could watch other shit on at the same time.
Right.
It makes no sense. Instead of just having it when your main network television, and plus, I don't even think many soccer bars are even going to be able to show this. They're just going to be like, fuck you guys. We're going to show it on Univision because, hey, this is free for us. We don't have to pay a different fee for that bullshit. So it's really idiotic on CBS. And honestly, I don't care if I shit all over them because I don't even anticipate working for them in the near future because it's really hard.
I also think that UEFA, there's definitely a clause. There has to be a clause in the contract that says you do have to generate X amount of viewership. You know?
Hopefully. I'll like to see how that contract looks.
I think me being that I want to give the benefit of that to Europeans know how to do things better, it's not always about the dollar signs. Like, yeah, we're getting paid, but I need my product to be seen because the long run, if my product is seen, I'm going to get more money at the end. You know, instead of at the beginning, like, yeah, pay us X amount of money, but if no one's watching it, I'm not going to go buy a jersey. I'm not going to go buy product. I'm not going to be interested in the streaming service. You know, there's a lot of things. It's not, you know, I think that, again, within the next 2-3 years, it's going to switch again the platform, the Champions League in the United States.
And I've been proposing it should go on ESPN. ESPN should have picked it up. They should have, you know, just went like, hey, we want to show you guys. And they even went up $1, ESPN Plus. Now they're like $5.99 going forward. I'll still pay for it because I don't care. I watch the soccer content in there, even City Off on board. And I will watch UFC too, because UFC is pretty much what I watch on a weekly basis. So I'm content with their service. At first, I was on the fence, but now once I'm hooked in and I get to see, and the other cool thing about ESPN Plus, you can see all the 30 for 30s on there. So much content on there, so valuable, and it's worth the fucking money. It's just, I'm saying, it's mind-boggling to see that they didn't take advantage and been like, you know, and they could even raise it up to $7.99. I would still pay for that and get Champions League. Fuck yeah, I'm invested.
I would pay $7.99 if it had a champion.
Like, you know? They should have taken advantage of this, but I guess they just felt like, hey, we have enough soccer content for now. But I think they're going to take advantage once they see how the CBS thing takes off, pretty much. Well, and it's pretty much, and they have the, oh, Jesus Christ, they have this deal till 2024. So we have to deal with 4 years of this bullshit.
I think it'll go out quicker. But all right, Adrian. Anything else before we wrap it up?
That's pretty much it, man. I had my rants, but still a lot of soccer left. I'm glad. I'm still not, convinced with the whole MLS season starting up so quickly after the tournament literally just wrapped up. But we'll just have to wait and see how this goes, and we'll definitely talk and recap about this in the next episode or two. But I am looking forward to this Champions League, especially on Friday. That I'll be watching on Univision for free. Well, it's part of my Spectrum deal, but fuck it.
I'm watching on too as well.
Yeah.
All righty then. Okay, guys. Everyone, thank you again for watching. I hope you have a good night.
We are the semi-soccer experts. Thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you again.